Yeah, look, excessive amount of anything isn't a good idea. I don't subscribe to Paleo Medicina's approach, encouraging on their website to tell people to eat shitloads of organ meats every day of the week. People never did that naturally. Even the Maasai or any other population will cut, like they'll go out and hunt, they'll cut a small amount and they'll share it amongst each other, small amounts like a multivitamin, you know? So having once a week liver is fine. Having every day, I think, is too much. And the body still needs to do a lot of other functions. And the older you are, it still needs to detox. It needs to do a lot of things. The last thing you want to do is overload it with a whole lot of minerals and things that it needs to basically either store or excrete. And especially today, we are not as healthy and don't have the mitochondrial density because we've done inappropriate diets. Remember, I always use the example. Mary Ruddock couldn't keep up with an 80-year-old running up a hillside, a Maasai 80-year-old. That person still got a lot of mitochondrial density and so has the capacity not only to generate the energy to build tissue and to metabolize food and stuff like that, but also to heal and to excrete things, excess or whatever. We, in many cases, if you've got half the mitochondrial density, what do you think you're going to do? You've got less capacity. To lose weight is much slower. That's why we all have all these plateaus and all that, and why I recommend very high protein type approaches to sort of force the damn stuff off. It's very, very different, our bodies. We've got far more damage sustained over a long period of time. We are not ancestrally from birth to death. We've had declines in mitochondrial. We only have to look at people that are ancestral. Their CD38 is quite low. They've got far less senescent cells. Our CD38 keeps on climbing up, and our NAD keeps on declining as we get older. That's not accidental. That's because we're doing more damage to our mitochondria because of inappropriate high deuterium foods and a whole lot of other things we've been doing for a very long time. So, yeah. So basically, we shouldn't be overloading ourselves. And I only recommend these sort of things with people that've got MS and that have got ALS, severe nutrient deficiencies to correct. Like Terry Walls used organ meats for that purpose. But I don't recommend it for general people. Most people, muscle meats are enough, and the occasional some eggs. They've got, like a whole animal, a couple of eggs, and occasionally having a bit of organ meats is fine. But excess amounts I don't recommend. Because I found more people with having problems rather than actually solutions. I don't see them, having, let's say a supplemental type or some organs and stuff like that, excluding heart. Heart, I've got no problems. High in taurine, very, very, very similar in all the other nutrients. It's just higher in trace minerals, which is really good because we don't get enough because we don't drink water, which has got, most water. I mean, this water that I've got is at lower deuterium water that's at 9 parts per million less than tap water. Plus, it has all that mineralization. When you put it in a pot, it mineralizes. This has got a lot of trace minerals. This is the sort of water we used to have, alpine water, this sort of stuff. Not a lot, but because you're supposed to hydrate with fat, not with water. You don't see people running around with water bottles in the native people, hunters. It's only us Westerners that are basically crazy because we're dehydrating ourselves with carbs. But the deuterium side, which I've explained at other times, I'm not going to do an explanation on that. But yeah. But there's a lot of nonsense that we do and say and whatever.